Hello everybody, welcome back to Cinema Savvy. It is myself, George, bringing you a very special video, and today I'm going to be discussing the first batch of officially confirmed actors taking part in the Harry Potter HBO series. This is the second video in, I guess I can call it the casting discussion part of the preview. I don't really have a title for the series yet, but I'm going to be discussing the official casting announcements. Many of these have been rumoured, have been reported by places like Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, very reliable sources, but as I said in the last video, I didn't want to be doing any videos or discussions on anything that's not been made official. Granted, I did one on John Lithgow, but he did confirm himself in multiple interviews on the same weekend that he would be playing the role of Dumbledore. So that's an exception, but I've been very patiently waiting. And today out the blue, no big video announcement, just a very simplistic traditional press release. Warner Brothers has confirmed the first 6 cast members for the Harry Potter series. The young actors, these are very much the first batch of, whether you want to call them Hogwarts staff or alumni or teachers, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be going through the 6 of them. I'm going to give my thoughts on them. Maybe they're actors I'm unfamiliar with. Maybe they're actors I'm very familiar with. There's going to be a lot to discuss, but as always, I do want to hear from people watching at home. So please do comment your thoughts on the Harry Potter HBO series. Whether you like some of these, whether you don't like some of these, if you've got concerns, if there's things you're looking forward to. There is one very much controversial one that everyone has been talking about. I'll get into that as well and give my thoughts on that one, because I think it's a bit trickier compared to the tweet that many people seem to be doing, but I will be giving my thoughts. And I guess I can say, as we've done the end of last year, we did a fan casting video. There's a link in the description to that. We did a series on them. That was a lot of fun. We're now heading into the casting, the official stuff. The show's obviously going to be shooting in the summer, so there will be more casting announcements, there will be more videos. And then when we do get to the summer, as I mentioned in the last video, I will be doing a 7-episode series where it's going to be me essentially discussing how they should adapt each of the Harry Potter books for the HBO series in long form media. I'm still, when I say working on that, I'm still reading them, I'm still making notes for every chapter. It is a very, very intense series, and that's going to be a really big one, and that's probably going to come out in June, because at the moment we've got The Last of Us Season 2, we've got Andor. There are so many things happening at the moment. I won't be getting around to getting those recorded, uploaded on the channel until June time, so there's more Harry Potter stuff to come if you are a fan. But that being said, it's time to give my thoughts on this, and I'm going to start up with John Lithgow, who's been confirmed as Dumbledore. I don't have too much more to add to this. When the video came out, I think it was a month or 2 ago, I did the first one. I sort of said that in a non-horrible way, I was concerned about the age, the Americanization side of things, that we were getting our first American actor into the series, but it's playing Dumbledore. Obviously, I spoke about how John Lithgow has obviously had a very successful career, played British. He got Winston Churchill in The Crown. He's been on stage in Giant playing Roald Dahl. In this month, not only has he now been officially cast, he's also won the Olivier Award for playing Roald Dahl in the stage play Giant, which is, I think, running up to August the 4th. He said in his interview. So there's some things to be greatly optimistic by, things such as that he can obviously play another British icon in what is regarded as a very, very good stage play. I think it's through the Olivier Awards. I'm not someone that would comment on Olivier Awards normally, but Charlie's the best person for that, and I'm warming to this one a lot more. I'm still somewhat concerned, but I do think with the performance of him in the role, he will make an exceptional Dumbledore. I'm just ever so slightly concerned about the age, and off this announcement of the 6 actors, the fact that there is only, I don't want to say only one non-British, that sounds ridiculous, but we haven't got 6 Americans, we haven't got 3 and 3 or 4 into it. It might be the exception of exceptions because they wanted John Lithgow to play Dumbledore. So I'm a bit more chill on that. I'm okay with that, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play it. He's a wonderful actor, we all know that, and he seems as good a person as an actor, so that's something to look forward to. We've then got Janet McTeer, who's been cast as Professor McGonagall. This is why I don't do videos on speculation. It was only a month or 2 ago that the first name being thrown around for McGonagall was Rachel Weisz, who I absolutely love, who many people absolutely love. I don't think she'd have made a good Professor McGonagall at all. She's an incredible actress, but she looks far too young and lovely, and there's no doubt should have done a good job, but this is why I don't do videos on speculation. The Janet McTeer rumours then came a few weeks ago, an actress I haven't seen in a lot of things. I know she's in Gangs of London. I know that she's been in Chaos, which was the Jeff Goldblum show on Netflix last year. I know she's going to be in the new Mission Impossible film. So I can say I am not necessarily in the know on her as a career. I've had a look at, obviously, like red carpet photos of her, the headshots they use in the official press release statement, those sorts of things, the reputation she has within the industry, and like John Lithgow, like many actors I'm going to be talking about over this video, she is another stage veteran, and I really like that this series is doing this, and this is something I think people should take into a little bit more consideration with these Harry Potter adaptations, is that when those films came out in the obviously early noughties, there were so many British legends there. But a lot of them, those films were them leaping into that wider mainstream audience. They were maybe known from being on the stage in Britain, from being in British dramas or British films, and didn't have that worldwide, global, every single person knows who this person is. But they then would learn it thanks to those films. And I do think this is going to be the case with this cast as well. And I'm also going to say, with every single person signing up for this knowing exactly what role they're going to be playing, it sort of is a breakdown of, this is like 1 year of your life, this is like 8 years of your life. There's different characters. It is a completed story in the books for the actor to know what they're signing on for, and I think that does make a big difference. And I think over the duration of the series, some of these will become household names if they aren't already. Some of these might go on to have incredible careers. It might be used as a stepping stone for other things, but I do think Janet McTeer might be one of the most obvious ones, respectively, of that as a veteran stage actor, this will now put her into a different pedestal. Not an arrogance that I haven't seen her in things, but it will very much be, now you're in Harry Potter. And obviously playing McGonagall, that is one of, I mean, there's so many iconic roles within this, but that's one of the really big ones. And I think them going for some of the biggest teachers first. I mean, the first 6 are all people that work at Hogwarts. 5 of these are going to be in it from season 1 through to season 7. I'll get to the one that's just going to be almost a flash in the pan when we look at the grand scheme of things. But third up, I'm going to talk about Snape, which has been played by Papa Esidu, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. This has been obviously the controversy online for a few months, and it's kind of frustrating. It seems like it doesn't matter what doesn't matter what film, what show there is always now a bit of casting which becomes controversy, becomes discourse, and very much it has been characters being race swapped. It has happened in video games of Assassin's Creed, the fact that the Japanese government had to get involved or something like that, in countless other things. And it's really tricky for this, because I'm going to sit here on this video and try and give my really honest thoughts, which might be a bit different to what some people think. Now, I haven't seen Papa Esidu in anything at the moment. The keyword at the moment. Now, when I saw the Olivier Award results, I saw that he was nominated alongside John Lithgow for Best Actor. So straight away, we know right now we have another stage actor. Clearly a talented one. I've not seen the TV series that he was nominated for the BAFTA in. I have not seen him in films. So I cannot sit there and talk about the performances I have seen from him. From the people I know and the people whose opinions I trust on film and TV stuff, they say he's a great up-and-coming actor, which is good to hear that, and it makes me more encouraging to look at some of his projects, etc. As I always do with the Bond films, I like to look at the people in Bond films that other the work outside of Bond. But there is a big controversy around the fact they've cast a black Severus Snape. And I'm going to try and say my 2 pence, and not that it means anything, because it doesn't detract from me watching the series, but I'm not entirely convinced on this, but I'm not convinced because he's black. I'm not convinced, and this sounds so strange to say in a video, because he seems too normal looking and too good looking to play Snape. You know, for a series that's had the tagline of most authentic Harry Potter adaptation ever, I'm not going to, it's the greasy long hair, it's the nose, it's everything that's in every single book. Whenever Harry first talks about Snape, it'll be in like Privet Drive in the second book onwards, and it's like Severus Snape is this disgusting teacher that Harry hates, that his father hated, and every single time Snape has an introduction in those books, it is just like an insulting, he's a disgusting person. So when I look at Papa Esidu, I don't see a disgusting person. And I haven't seen him in performances, so I can't sit there and say I know what to expect from him. This one, to me, I'm really in the middle of, because we haven't seen a photo, we haven't seen a still from him, we haven't seen a clip of him in the series. We don't even know what his costume's going to look like. It's really hard to judge those things at present. Unfortunately, people using AI as always to just put actors into things, and there's some awful AI photos of him with the shoulder length hair. But if that works, I don't know. But there's a few things. There's a really good YouTube channel called Movie Flame that gave his thoughts on it, and it was quite eye-opening for me, where he spoke about the Snape casting, saying not that he was opposed to it, but you start looking into reading in between the lines in what's going to happen in future seasons. You're going to have this one person getting picked on and getting bullied on by James, Sirius, etc., because of his background. Even though it's not racial, his background, but granted he's a half-blood, but he's very much becomes anti-Lily, etc., etc. They've got to be really delicate with this in a show, and I want to say I trust the showrunners at present. Not that I've seen, this series and how it's going to go, but I'm okay with it at the moment. But I do worry about. I'm assuming he's not on social media. I wouldn't want to be on social media if I was him right now, but there are going to be, we know how volatile Twitter's become, the bots on there, the accounts on there, a lot of other people leaving. We know what social media can be like. You see it with footballers, you see it with actors, you see it in multiple industries. We know exactly what people are like. This could be the worry for me, that I hope they just don't go for him relentlessly on no premise. If they release a still and I look at that and think, Christ almighty, that's not Snape, then that's it. That's it for me, and it will be. But at this point in time, I'm going for casting announcement. It is the controversial one. As I said, he's been nominated for Olivia Awards, he's been nominated for BAFTAs, he's clearly talented. They've just announced him he's going to be on stage in November, so his scenes or season will have wrapped in November time, maybe October, given the fact that obviously he'll be rehearsals for the play and stuff like that. So he's clearly a talented actor, and like I said before, like what they've done with those Harry Potter films, is they're going for the British actors working on stage. They're going to make careers from them. If this works, then fair fucking play. Go for it, run with it. It is a long-term commitment. I'm not going to get into Adam Driver discussions. There was no way, even if they went through much, I doubt they did. There's no way he'd be signing on to do another project in England for 8 years. Doing 3 Star Wars films in 5 years was tough enough. He's not going to be doing 7 seasons of a Harry Potter series in London. Absolutely no chance. So people put that rumour to bed. It's a tricky role. You can take aside all the controversy of his skin colour, whatever people want to put that as. You're then replacing Alan Rickman as Snape, and the issue I have with this is when you look into the book, the character of Snape in the book is not only disgusting visually, but he's despicable. He's not redeemable. He's 10 times worse than he was in the films. The films did an amazing job at building him up, film by film by film, so you get these moments when you get towards the memories at the end that he is redeemable. But personally, book Snape is not redeemable. He has a heroic moment, and he's had a heroic part, but he's still at the end of the day torturing school children, trying to kill people's pets, still was a Death Eater. It's a really tricky role, and I think the exploration of this across 7 seasons of TV will make it far more interesting. I'm not saying it'd be better than Alan Rickman, I'm just saying the character of Snape is going to be so different in this series to what you have seen on the films. I think characters like McGonagall, who spoke about, there'll be more for her to do, but the essence that was there from day one, minute one, and will continue to be. There aren't the stuff missing from her. There'll be a few little golden nuggets that you're going to get, like her making sure Harry can get the Nimbus 2001. You're going to get her taking the firebolt away. So you're going to get more from McGonagall, but you're not going to get things missing as such, whereas Snape, there was so much missing because they wanted to present him differently for the film. And again, it's the late great Alan Rickman. He's amazing, and that's a tough role for anyone to step into. Going off that side, the Dumbledore stuff, as I said, there's so much more to Dumbledore in those books, especially by the time they get to Deathly Hallows and you start having Harry reevaluate his relationship with him and things such as that. So there's a lot more that's going to happen to these characters, and I think Snape's the most obvious one from film to TV, that his portrayal has to be different, the writing has to be different, it needs to be a bit more delicate, it's going to be trickier, and it does make him far more, not interesting as a character, but where you lose him in some of those middle books you weren't in this. There'll be some really, really good stuff. He will be despicable, and that's what you want. So let's talk about the 4th person who's been cast. We've got Nick Frost as Hagrid. Tate, in our casting videos, predicted this. He absolutely nailed it. The videos are a bit of fun. We didn't do it as we're actually predicting this is going to happen, but it's very cool to get one of ours in here. Nick Frost is a solid choice as Hagrid. British legend. He can do humour, he can do comedy, he can do light-hearted. We've seen him in Skeleton Crew working with children as far as 4 months ago. We know he can play that comforting giant. We know, like Robbie Coltrane, he isn't actually 10 feet tall, so obviously there's going to be camera trickery or whatever you want to call it, costumes, shooting separately. There's going to be so many different ways for them to make him look bigger. I really think Nick Frost is wonderful in this role. I think could be perfect. I think Hagrid, again, is a character who will get a lot more of in the TV series compared to those films. I mean, you look at him in the first two films, how much of him you get a lot of him in Azkaban, and then by the time you get into Goblet of Fire, you get like a scene or two with him. You get into Order of the Phoenix, you get the scene with him, really, when he comes back. But in the books, surely we're going to be getting things like Hagrid's Tale. There's going to be so much more for him as a character to do, to learn about him. I think Nick Frost is nailed on. I think he'll be great to have around the actors, and I think he'll be a welcome addition to the cast. So I'm really excited for that one. I think a lot of people are excited for that one. And last time we know what it looks like with a giant beard and long hair, so we're all sorted there. No doubt everyone will now start fan casting to try and get Simon Pegg into something. I'm going to go next with... I'm going in order of the press release today. Luke Talon, or Thalon, I don't know the pronunciation, playing the role of Quirrell. This one came out of nowhere. So we have a stage actor, another one, who doesn't have a Wikipedia page, doesn't have an IMDb page. When I'm saying the unknowns, I mean they have scouted this. He has auditioned. He's clearly smashed the auditions. They have gone for him rather than a big name. They've gone for an unknown to play Quirrell, a character we know is going to be in it for one season. I can't add anything onto this, by the way. I don't know. I know the actor's been doing Macbeth. I know he's been part of the RSC. You're not going to be part of the RSC if you aren't a good actor as such. If you're like an untalented stage actor, you wouldn't be with the RSC. The fact he's had leading roles on the RSC sort of implies that he will be making that jump up the chain, if you want to call it that. So it's kind of exciting. They're still keeping the image that, yes, it's Harry Potter, yes, we can get you big names, but we can also go in and get a British stage actor and sort of give him the limelight to have that career, which is great to see. And I think Quirrell's the kind of character you can get away with that for. He isn't established as such. He's someone that's sort of come back from travelling around Europe, you know, with Voldemort stuck to the back of his head. And also, please give him a cameo in Goblet of Fire when we get to that scene. So yeah, I've got nothing to add on that. I'm fine with that. Again, I don't know what to expect. That'll be a character we see in obviously in costume, and a lot of that costume will be covered up as well with the turban, everything else. So it's a hard character to get a read on. You know, he doesn't have the impact others do. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is the casting of Filch, which has come out of nowhere. Another one where there's been no rumours, no attachments. Paul Whitehouse is playing Filch. Now, many Americans may be unfamiliar with him. Many Brits may be unfamiliar with him by name. A lot of the kids will know him now from the Aviva adverts, but he's a comedy legend in England. He's part of the Fast Show, not the only Fast Show alumni to be in Harry Potter now. Of course, Mark Williams was in that original series. This is incredible casting, if I'm honest. I think it's one of the most exciting bits of casting, and it gives the series a lot of levity for me. Again, you're going for a British comedian. Filch is very much not a comedic role, but he's almost like a comedic villain. You know, he is that ugly caretaker who spent his nights at the castle hunting down children, hoping for them to get tortured. We're going to hopefully get all the sub-story in the Chamber of Secrets with him being a squib and everything else that went on with him, which, you know, explains a bit more with what happened with the petrifying. I can't wait to see him in this. I think he's perfect. I think he'll be very funny. And again, it's a character you want around those kids that is an actor that you know is going to be great with them. They'll be able to have some fun with it. And I think that's so important for the earlier ones is they're casting children as the main trio, as the other students. You're going to need to surround them with not only actors that make them comfortable, that are looking out for them. You want to build up a mentorship as these actors then get older and older and become adults as the series goes on. They're going to still be with those actors and have built really, really important bonds to them. So that's, to me, a really important part of casting this. And I think Paul Whitehouse's Filch will be great. I think that's a nailed on one for the sort of British comedy fans. So that's the 6 that have been announced today. That's my thoughts on them. We know we're going to get more. Whether we're going to get like an announcement a week, or maybe we'll hear nothing for like a month. Obviously, they haven't cast a kid yet. They've sort of said they're still not ready to announce that. I understand that. We know they're in pre-production. We know they're going to be shooting it in the summer. It's going to be a very big series. But what I do like the fact is that the first 4 names they have put out as rumours are the 4 they've announced first. They didn't not announce Snape because then people would be thinking of someone else. But now it means, okay, who's going to be next? We know there was an interview last week with Deadline where I think one of the chair of Warner Brothers basically said, yeah, we still haven't cast our Voldemort, which is why none of you know who it is. So we're still figuring things out. We'll get some more rumours like last time, but it's very intriguing as to see who people want to play in these roles. I really think we're going to get the Voldemort announcement now. Not now, but as in, I think they're going to announce Voldemort in season 1, even though he won't be properly in it till season 4, because we need to see the back of his head in season 1. We need to see him a bit more in these other seasons, and I think it's important for them to get that casting done now, so the actor knows, okay, it's going to be a small thing here and there for maybe a couple of days filming for the next 2-3 years, but it will come bigger as the series develops. So there's a lot more to come. I'm excited for it. I like this announcement today. I like to have handled it traditionally. It's not a big extravagant announcement. No doubt in the summer when it's filming, we'll get like official photo reveals of them. British studios are very good at keeping leaks from coming out on set productions and stuff, so nothing to worry about with regards to like set leaks like getting American series and stuff like that. It's exciting, and I'm excited to do this. So that's me rounding out this casting video. I hope you all enjoyed it. There will be more Harry Potter stuff, as I said, more casting announcements. We'll be doing more with the, as I said, the book to screen essentially. How can they get this to work? Book by book, series by series. So that's going to be a big job for the summer. If anyone's curious, I'm on the Order of the Phoenix. I've been on that for like a month because I've had a few weeks off of it being very busy. So there's more happening. They'll all be out on the channel as and when. Whatever else is coming out. Well, I've delayed our Andor video to put this out today. Last night we had The Last of Us. Andor returns fully next week. We'll have spoiler discussions on the Thursdays. Doctor Who's come back. There may be videos on the channel for that. We've got new releases. It's WrestleMania week. We're going to be doing predictions on Friday. We'll be doing other WrestleMania videos. It's going to be an absolute insane week. This just added to how busy this is going to be. So that's me rounding out for today. As I said, if you want to get us on social media, you can. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky. If you've got any recommendations of films or shows that you've seen some of these actors in, please do comment them. I'll have a look. It might mean other people, Chris, can have a look, because it's exciting. We're going to be witnessing the casting of probably the biggest casting news since the original, well, the sequel Star Wars trilogy. That was huge that day when everything came out, and this is what's going to happen. We're going to have this slow build now over the coming months of this insane project that's going to go on for 10 years. And once again, it's going to have British cast here, there, everywhere. So that's exciting. I keep saying exciting. That's me rounding out. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.